Welcome to another day of my life, aka Ghetto Antiques Roadshow, and this might contain cocky. Handle with care. Okay, why might it contain cocky? So this is going to be a long story. I did several videos telling you about how I purchased, and by the way, I used to be an eBay seller, so if you're an eBay seller, don't give me a downvote because you get butthurt about things. I understand. It sucks being a seller too. So I'm on both ends of the side here. But, so I won this item for $27.88. The seller did not know what it was, did not know its value, and found out what its value was after I won it for $27.88 and paid them. What they did was immediately relisted it without telling me that they were going to send my item. They did not respond to my question saying, why did you relist the item I just paid for? And it went on for like 2 days straight without them replying to me with the item relisted properly after they found out what it was worth after I won it and paid. And it had 29 bids on it, and it was getting a lot of money, and like double or triple the amount I paid for it, with several days left in the auction. So they did not respond to me. I contacted eBay. I made videos talking about this. Turns out so many people downvoted my videos. I never got so many thumbs downs in my video. By the way, give this video a thumbs up, please. That I deleted both of them. A lot of eBay sellers get angry. I can understand your feeling of anger towards buyers. I totally get it. This seller did not feel like doing their research, did not know what the item was worth, listed it by being lazy and not looking it up until after the fact that I won it and paid for it. So I sort of not threatened, but I told the seller that they had an obligation. They had to give me the item that I paid for, and they needed to end the relisted item, which was my item, immediately. And they basically tell me, well, I found out this item was worth more, and I'm not ending the other listing. And I said, well, you have to. And they said no. And so I contacted eBay and basically told them what was going on. And it took them, by the way, 2 days. And they took down the seller's other listing. The seller claimed they had two of this item. These are one of a kind. There's no such thing as another one of this exact item. They used the same pictures in the second listing as this item. And so the seller contacted me and said, you're threatening me. And I said, no, I'm not threatening you. I'm just saying you have to follow the obligation of the contract. You have to ship me my item that I paid for in good faith. And I said, God bless you. And I was very, very polite. So the seller had no choice, apparently. They said that eBay was going to shut them down as a seller if they didn't ship me the item. They were very unhappy about shipping me this item, so there could be duty in here. So sorry for the long story short bullshit, but all right, they could be cocky in here as a revenge tactic. So I am going to document this video of me opening this item to make sure. And by the way, I'm going to flip it over to show you the person's name and address without mine, just in case this is proof that it's from this person. Okay, there we go. And, all right. So you can see it says, handle with care. So let's make sure that this item is the item. I'm not trying to dox anybody here. Let's go. So I got to get a scissor. I'll be right back. So this is the moment of truth. Either the person sent me an envelope with shit in it, an empty envelope, or they actually followed the rules of the contract. And you might say, well, it's not really binding on eBay if you sell something and you got too little for it and you don't want to send it to the buyer. It is sort of binding, but you can sort of basically, say, oh, item was lost or broken, or, I can't find it, or some crap like that, and not send it. And, but eventually eBay will actually shut you down if you continue to do shit like that. That's why you need to research your items ahead of time. Now, there could be shite in here, and we're having a glove malfunction. I'm praying to God. Now, it's about the right size of the item, but let's just hope. It says, thank you. Thank you for being a friend. Don't mind me. I'm being a bit of a jackass. I'm nervous. They could be like, shit in here. The person could want to get me back. I wouldn't blame them, actually. They could say, fuck this bitch. I'm not going to send her the item that, and by the way, she had to pay final value fees. When eBay took down the other listing, she had to pay $7.87 because there was 29 bids on it. And she was pissed off about that too. She says, I had to pay $7.87 for the other item that was taken down, which is the same item. And now I have to pay final value fees on this, and I made no money. Well, that's not my fault. And you might say, oh, what a bitch you are, but it's the truth. I mean, let's face it here, right? She also claimed that eBay wasn't releasing her money, and she didn't want to ship the item because I didn't get paid. They're putting a hold on my money. Well, that's what eBay does. They put a hold on your money for X amount of days and then release the funds. So I told her, if you send my item and I get it and I am happy with it, I will definitely give you a positive feedback and even call up eBay to tell them to release the funds if they're holding your funds for longer than you're happy with. So, all right, this is the moment of truth. Oh, she sent it. Okay, the person ended up being honest. And let's check it out. Let's get in better lighting. And I always love looking at these old antique cameos in the light because you can actually see, let's try to get the sun to shine through it. You can actually see the cameo portrait through it. Look at that. All right, so basically what we have here is a very, very, very old cameo brooch convertible that turns into a pendant. And it has a great carving. I don't know if you can see that. The earlier they are, generally, the better the shell. Because back then, these shells that they carved these out of, actually, there was no pollution like there is today. And the shells are actually much thicker and better than the ones that they make today. So let's check this out. Now, I think this, I think, now I'm not certain, but I think this might be 9-karat gold. I had to do a gold test. Now, this was probably made about 1900. And up until about 1910 or so. I can tell by the hinges. Now, this is like a rounded tube hinge. Don't know if you could see that. So the hinge and the closure is telling me this is a very, very, very early safety catch. The safety catch was generally made about 1910. Sometimes I've seen a few brooches of an earlier time period, like 1905, like right around there, with the same safety catch. But this is actually an old one. Now, generally, you'll see a lot of these on the market that are from the 50s, mid-century, the 60s, the 70s. But what you look for the older pieces. The older, the better. So let's just take a look at this in the light. And my camera is shiz. It just does not want to focus on this. I don't know why. There we go. And the seller had no choice. Oh, we're having a glove snafu. The seller had no choice but to send me the item. Now, if I didn't complain and I didn't bitch and I didn't moan and I didn't get all like, up into the seller's grill about this, they would have actually probably canceled the listing that I paid for, the item that I paid for, and sent me my money back and accepted the higher bids that she was getting on this item. And so if I didn't call up eBay, raise hell, and act like a total Karen, I would have never gotten this item. So that's actually a lesson for all of you. If you buy from an eBay seller, they, it's a contractual obligation. They have to sell you the item, but they really don't have to. Basically, they can make an excuse and say the item is lost or broken. They can relist it, take your money. They can screw you over, just like sellers equally can screw over buyers can equally screw over sellers. Trust me, I was a seller there too, and I know the bullshit that goes on. So let's actually look at this. I'm just like really, really excited about this. This is gorgeous. Now, what's the value on something like this one? So about circa 1900, 1910, nicely carved cameo. By the way, I believe this is the goddess Flora. You can see the flowers in her hair. I could be wrong. Would probably sell now, if this is 9K, most likely it is gold plated or rolled gold or 9K gold. Even if it was just brass, it has a really nice relief and a nice carving. This would sell in the $150 to $375 price range. I've seen actually these sell for about $375, believe it or not. So that is why the seller did not want to give this to me at $27.88. So once again, thank you for watching. I'm glad I didn't get an envelope with cocky in it. And we all learned what games some eBay sellers play. and how you can fight back and actually make them have to send you the item that you won, even though they didn't want to do their research at first and found out what it was worth later. Thanks for watching. See you guys all soon, and so long.